guys? PKSparkxx here, and welcome back to Dead Hot Top 5. Today's Top 5 list, voted for by you guys on Twitter. Look at this poll right here. Boom! We are going to be covering my top 5 favorite stages in Splatoon 2. I'm actually really shocked that Monopoly boards got so much interest. So you might see that in the future. If you want to vote for the next top 5 list, make sure you follow me on Twitter, not only for that, but to get updates on all things PK. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, all that goes through my Twitter, so follow me there. But today we're going to be talking about my top 5 stages in Splatoon 2. So a little preface. 1. Humpback Pump Track will not be on this list. Why? Because at first I thought the stage was amazing, but as things went on, I grew to dislike this stage, or at least not as much as the stages that are on my top 5. Actually, none of the stages in Splatoon 2 I actually hate, but that stage went from being what I thought to be the Wall-Out Warehouse of Splatoon 2 to being a very, it's a stage that's there, and if I get it, it's like, alright, we'll see what happens. If you guys enjoy yourselves today, let me know. Demolish the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell to get notified of the next episode. Let me know in the comment section below any other top 5 lists you would like to see in an upcoming episode, and it might just be voted on Twitter. But without further ado, let's get into number 5. Number 5 of my top 5 Splatoon 2 stages. Did I mention that these are only including stages that are introduced in Splatoon 2? Goes to Gobi Arena, introduced March 2nd, 2018. Gobi Arena is a stage that I really do enjoy. It's kind of a medium-ish stage, but what I love about it is all the different levels and pathways you have to maneuver around this stage. In all modes, Turf War and all ranked modes, you have a lot of options to just move around your opponents, get different elevations, hide behind different pillars, different things to explore, different crevices to hide behind. There are so many options and ways to move around the field in Gobi Arena. It's so much fun. My favorite mode to play on Gobi Arena goes to Splat Zones, because you have that open arena. The whole entire center of Gobi Arena is just open, with 2 pillars on the left and right side that are actually basketball courts. It's pretty freaking hype. I always wondered, I remember I tried, I was like, let me throw a splat bomb in there and see if the splat bomb will go through the hoop and play like a sound, like you made some points. It didn't do it, unfortunately. But still, Gobi Arena on Splat Zones is still very fun, and my favorite thing about this entire mode. But at the same time, every single mode plays so well on Gobi Arena. I love tower control because getting the tower out of the center is just a massacre. And then even beyond that, when you get past the center into the enemy base, they still have a lot of places from above to just rain ink down on you. The best weapons that I think work well on Gobi Arena goes to actually whatever you may like. If you are a splatter shot main, go on and play the splatter shot. If you play a roller, go on and play the roller. Just make sure you recon the stage so you can figure out how your weapon best moves around the stage. But honestly, I think this stage works best for any and every weapon out there. So whether you're a charger main, whether you're a roller main, whether you're a blaster main, whether you're a shooter main, you can find a way to move on this stage so long as you have that team synergy and work well on Gobi Arena. My 4th favorite stage introduced in Splatoon 2 goes to Inkblot Art Academy. Now, similar to how I used to love Humpback Pump Track, but now I find it kind of annoying, Inkblot Art Academy I used to find annoying, but now that I understand it more, I enjoy it a whole lot more. Inkblot Art Academy was introduced on launch day with Splatoon 2, and the thing about this stage is that it's really tiny. Like, even though you have a lot of places to ink, at the same time when you're playing this stage on ranked modes, the stage is small. Tower control doesn't take much effort, Rainmaker definitely doesn't take much effort, and Splat Zones is arguably the most annoying mode to play on this map, but it's also my favorite. Splat Zones have the entire zone flat in the middle, and in the middle, similar to Gobi Arena, you have 2 pillars on the left and right side you can maneuver around to get some elevation on your opponent. But at the same time, beyond the center, on the left and right sides, you're going to have 2 pits that you can use to grind up inks for your specials. You can use it to try and sneak over on your opponent while they're not paying attention, because they may be looking at the platform directly from your spawn point, so you can go over there and suddenly you're getting a flank on somebody. I freaking love that about splat zones. But splat zones, you're also covering up that center, and so long as you have somebody in the pit, so long as you have like a blaster covering over the ledge, so that way they can't freely come over, it's almost it's so easy to get a knockout on splat zones on Ink by Art Academy. With that said, I feel like the best weapons you need for this map mode combination, or for this map, is the Splatling, preferably the heavy Splatling, but the Hydra and the mini Splatling work well as well if you want mobility or if you want like high fire rate. But I would say the Splatling, heavy Splatling, and the blaster, so that way when you have control, you can just keep pop shots over the ledge, cover turf, and make sure you put everybody down who may be hiding behind corners. Ink by Art Academy is a fun stage. Tower control is also very good on here. Rainmaker is also very good on here. But it's all about just defending that center. Once they're up on your platform, or once they have control of your platform, ooh, is it going to be a slobber knocker to get out of there. My third favorite stage, introduced in Splatoon 2, goes to Monte Maria, introduced August 26, 2017. Monte Maria is a big stage. It's more so long than it is wide, but it does have a good amount of width to it, so that way you have many places to hide around. And when you get towards the center, there is no definite center, but the one part that you would define the center, it was the mast. Where the mast is there, it can cover up a whole bunch of centers, but if you're playing on tower control, then tower control pretty much removes the mast from the center of the ship, and that's where the tower is residing. But no matter where you're at, no matter what mode you're playing on, the center always will be looked down upon by the two platforms of right above it. That is what people are going to be using the brush. That's what people are going to be using chargers. That's what people are going to be quickly covering up with suction bombs, that way the enemy isn't camping up there trying to get picks off, because they can see the entire center area, both the left and right sides, from that center platform. My favorite mode on Monte Maria goes to tower control. It is very tough and takes a lot of focus and team cooperation to get past the various checkpoints, because they always have spots that are going to be above you that they can just pick you off on. While you're riding the tower, you will always be lower than your opponent. Not so much at the second checkpoint, but definitely at the first checkpoint. And this is where the brush and charges are going to come in handy. Charges have a lot of range, and they have a lot of great points where they can pick off anybody on the tower while they're at the checkpoints. And the brush, well, again, there's a lot of elevation going on in this stage, so you can just kind of get above your opponent, swing wildly, cover the entire tower, and either get them off the tower or just push them back. But even beyond tower, splat zones, you can cover ink from above. Rainmaker, you can stop anybody who may be going over it thanks to elevation, because brushes are just so good. And charges have a lot of range, which can help you out on the length of the stage. Monte Maria is such a really good stage, but if you're going to play it, brush and charges, I think you need to have on one team. And tower control, give it a shot. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. My second favorite stage, introduced in Splatoon 2, goes to the Reef, introduced on launch day. The Reef is a stage that is, you know how I said earlier that Humpback Pump Track I thought was going to be the Walleye Warehouse of Splatoon 2? Nah, that's definitely the Reef. This stage was revealed in the announcement trailer for Splatoon 2, and it actually looked a lot different from its initial reveal to its final release, so you guys should go check that out. But the Reef is a stage that is so basic, so perfect. You have a bridge over the center, you have so many walkways and slipways, places you can ink, you have so many areas in your own turf, some good elevation, but nothing too crazy in any regard, and all the modes work so well on it. Turf War, Tower Control, Splat Zone, Rainmaker, Clam Blitz, they all are so good. But my favorite mode to play on the Reef is definitely Rainmaker. And I like Rainmaker because there are so many, well, there's only two areas you can really take to try and get the Rainmaker to the podium. But both of those ways are highly contested. You're either going to take the direct path and go straight up the ramp and try to make a mad jump towards the podium to slam dunk the Rainmaker onto the podium, or you're going to take the tighter area and you're going to go to the left and try to push your way through there while everybody else is running through you with the Stingray and the Jet Squelchers and the Chargers. Speaking of weapons, if you are playing the Reef, mind you, all weapons work so well on the Reef. But if I had to choose one, I would say the blaster is what you want to use. Blasters are going to be able to get to the top and cover the bridge. If somebody's trying to rain ink down on you, you're going to be able to get around the corners where people like to hide, especially the ramp leading towards the center. If you have someone playing with a Splatling, they love to hide around that corner. So get your blaster, pop over the corner or around the corner. You can cover and damage any Splatling that may be hiding there, and maybe even get a KO on there as well. You can use it when you're pushing into the enemy territory by making sure they can't get to the podium for the Rainmaker. You can even make it to keep people back when you're defending the tower. Blasters work so well on the Reef in any and every mode. So I would say bring that weapon. But the Reef in general, the most basic stage, and it's so much fun, works on every single mode. My number one stage introduced in Splatoon 2 from day one has been Sturgeon Shipyard. Not a single map introduced so far has been better than this one. Now let me explain. Sturgeon Shipyard is such a huge stage, arguably one of the biggest in the entire game. It has three main areas that are designed for combat. The clear center, which is a little ramp you can go over, and two sides on the end that actually turn up and down. I guess, I don't know the intervals exactly, but they do go up and down from a vertical and horizontal base. So you can use that to get into the second area of your enemy's base, or you can use that to get around so you can get a flank of your opponent who may be camping on the other side of the ramp in the center. When the pillars that turn up are vertical, you can use those as perches to start getting some aerial overhead KOs and start raining ink down on your opponents, or covering the zone if you're playing splat zones. You have another area right after your base, which is a big old area once again that is used for fighting. You can use the pillar in the middle. Your opponent will most likely use that to rain ink down on you, but you have everywhere where you can see where they're coming from. This stage is so wide, it's so open, you can see everything if you just scan it quick enough. You have the areas on the right side which will be used for Rainmaker more often than not, so you can make a mad dash towards the podium, or you can go up the ramps which are direct, but you also have a little slide area over to the right. But if people aren't looking over there, you can kind of slip right through and start getting to your enemy base. This stage has been great for me in every single mode: Turf War, Rainmaker, Splat Zones, and Clamblers. I love it in all these modes, but my absolute favorite goes to Tower Control. Tower Control is another one where you have to push into your enemy base. You get on the tower and you start moving to the right. Then you have to deal with the first pit where they can start raining ink down on you. Then you get to the second area right before their ramp, right before their base, and you have to defend yourself and your team from them shutting you down. And then if you push past that, you have to push into their base to secure the knockout on Tower Control. It's so much fun. There are so many points you have to watch out for, so many ways and times for the tide of battle to shift. It's so much fun. If you're playing the Sturgeon Shipyard, the weapon I would think this map needs, no matter what, is the Splatling. Because again, I can't say it enough, this stage is huge! So the Splatling will help you out very much with covering turf quickly, so you can start maybe recovering some turf and pushing back to capture the zone. Or maybe just covering turf in Turf War. Maybe you need to stop your opponents from covering everything in Tower Control, so you can shut them down and lock them towards the tower so you can get the knockoff quickly enough. Especially with the bubble special from the Heavy Splatling, it can just work out so well. And not to mention, I believe the Heavy Splatling hero, the hero Heavy Splatling, gets the Stingray, which also helps with Tower Control. It's just, I would say bring a Splatling on your team no matter what. But Sturgeon Shipyard as a map in general has never been wrong. I don't think anybody ever complains about Sturgeon Shipyard no matter what mode it has been, and I don't see anybody complaining about it in the near future. So those are my top 5 Splatoon 2 stages that were introduced in Splatoon 2. If you're wondering why I didn't include stages that were introduced in Splatoon 1, because they are fundamentally different. I can say right now that I enjoy Port Mackerel a whole lot more in Splatoon 2 than I do in Splatoon 1. And Moray Towers, while I still abhor that stage, it is much better than Splatoon 1. But the reason why I didn't do that is because those are stages that were introduced from Splatoon 1 that may have been tweaked for Splatoon 2, but their original concept wasn't created for this game. So I decided to go for stages that were made for this. But if you guys want to see if you guys want to know my top 5 stages in Splatoon 1, tell me in the comment section below. But if you want to vote for next week's top 5, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Who knows, maybe my top 5 Monopoly spaces will actually win and be introduced next Wednesday. If you guys enjoyed yourself, let me know. Demolish the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you ring that bell to get notified of the next top 5 video. But for right now, it's time for me to dip. Stay hot, guys, and I'll see y'all next time.